Hello, everyone, and you're welcome to today's lesson. If you can hear me, can you confirm that you can hear me? All right. Can you confirm that you can hear me now? Good morning, everyone. All right, lovely. I'm happy you can hear me. So let's get started. The cost of one error. That was what we focused on the last time we met. But today, before we go ahead, can you remember what you learned from the last time? Quickly. What did you learn from the last lesson? Lesson number 4. What did you learn there? I shared something on the cost of one error. And we talked about something that has to do with money given to a certain university. What did you learn from that session before we proceed on to today's activity? You want to give that a try? Give that a try. I'm waiting. Good morning, everyone, and you're welcome to the lesson. Good morning, everyone, and you're welcome to the cost of run error. The implication of libel. Yeah, that's a good point to remember. Are you ready? No one is remember fact checking and verification. Okay, I need more responses. The things we learned from the last time before I proceed to today's lesson. Still waiting. Name, date, figures must be verified. That's correct. Let's see. Let's see how much more we have. Using multiple sources to cross-check, fact-checking, verification. Everybody keep an eye on the chat. 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 Okay. All right. I think we are together. We're making some sense. Very good sense. Okay. Let's go. So today you should have an idea of what we're looking at already. So are you ready for this? Are you ready for this? Are you ready for this? Good, good, good. Are you ready for this? Good, good, good engagement. Nice. Well done. All right. Lovely. So today we're looking at photo editing and visual ethics. Photo editing and visual ethics. Before we start, how many of you agree with me that photos can lie? Do you believe photos can lie? Do you think photos can lie? If you think photos can lie, tell me how. How? How is it possible that photos can lie? They say photos speak 1,000 words, and show me the photo and I can believe. There was a time like that where we trusted in photos, in visuals. We believed that it is an evidence because there was no technology and know how to manipulate it then. Now, today, the story has changed. How many of you today believe photos can lie? Okay, if you don't believe photo can lie, can you put it there that photo cannot lie? Put it in the chat. Okay, no, I don't believe photos can lie. Okay, all right. So if you believe photos can lie, can you state why you think photos can lie? I'm just gonna put back the poster again so you can see what we're talking about, and then I'll just overlay my photograph over it, my video over it, so you can have. How many of you believe photo can lie? How many of you believe photos can lie? Okay, yes, someone said through editing and manipulation. Through editing and manipulation, photos can lie. Yes. Through editing and manipulation, photos can lie. Which other way? Which other way? Think about it. Which other way? How can photo lie? Is it only through manipulation? Okay, it can be edited, taken from different angles. Yes, it can be edited and it can be taken from different angles. It's because of the angle you can only see what they want to see. People use AI to generate photos that look as real as possible. Good. These are ways photo can lie. Good. Lovely. These are ways photos can lie. These are ways photos can lie. Good. I'm happy you guys are making sense of this. Now I'm going to start. A news photographs appear online showing protest in Lagos. The image spread rapidly, shaping public opinion. Within minutes later, it was revealed that that photo was taken years ago, earlier in a different context entirely. No words were changed, no headline was uttered, yet the entire meaning of the story shifted through a single image. Now, the power lies in the visual. This is the power of visual communication. In modern and media system, there is something that no longer confined to text, and it is editing. It extends to image, framing, visual selections. In many cases, audience believe image faster than they believe text. They believe image quicker than they have had. You understand? They are making photo editing one of the most influential stages in communication process. Now, have a look. Photo editing, visual communication, and media ethics. That is our focus today. Again, if you are, I know a few of you have been joining. If you're new, if you want to connect on a personal note, that's how to connect. And it's time for you to check in. Please check in. Okay. All right. Thank you for checking in. Today, we're going to cover the following. We'll understand photo editing in journalism. We will understand the roles of image in shaping meaning. We will go through the principles of visual communication, and we will look at ethical boundaries in image manipulation, and I will introduce you to basic photo editing tools. I will talk about it just today, and we can map out our way to understanding that. And the objective of today's session is to explain the basic role of images in media communication. We will also be looking at identifying the ethical issues in photo editing. Ethical issues in photo editings, and then analyze how visuals influence audience perception. And we are going to apply basic principles of visual selections and editing mentally today and practically later. So, what is photo editing? Who can tell? Try this, attempt this. What is photo editing? Put it in the chat. Put it in the chat. Okay. Try. Put in there. What do you understand by photo editing? What is photo editing? Keep your keep your messages coming. Your messages coming. Okay, changing or improving photos using the phone, computer, software, changing or improving photo using digital tools. It involves adjusting, altering different parts of an image. Okay, let's all keep our eyes on the chart. Let's see how much we know. Balogun S says photo editing is a process of enhancing and altering an image to improve its quality or communicate a clearer message. Okay, let's keep it coming. Let's keep it coming. I'm waiting. All right. So let's move on. Photo editing is the process of selecting, enhancing, and preparing images for publication. You have to always give your definition in context because you are communicators, and the goal of all of your editing process is to publish. Is to what? Publish. Is to publish. So take notes, have that in mind always, that the goal of doing anything is to publish. Okay? The goal of doing anything is to publish. So you are trying to select in the case of photo editing. So editing is not only manipulating, changing the photo in the context of mass communication. It is a process of selecting from several photos. For example, you've gone to an occasion, you've taken several photos, and you don't know which one to use. For the fact that you're making a decision of picking one or two, that in itself is editing because you are removing what you don't want and picking the one you want. So that process itself can be bias. That process itself can affect the outcome because you have photos of different angles, different mood, different facial expressions. You selecting one is editing in the context of journalism. Oh, how many of you knew this before now? Now, you selecting a photo from one photo from a pool of 10 is editing. Now, some of you might have gone to a photographer before. And I'm going to explain from the perspective and from the angle of photojournalism and as a journalist. Now, look at it this way. You've gone for a photo shoot. Photographer have taken several shots and you have only agreed or you have contracted him to take you photos and you're only having 10 and paying for 10. Now you have over 200 photographs and you have to select 10. That process, without even using the software, of you choosing, deciding the 10 out of this 200 is editing in the context of journalism. Now, that is selecting. Now, enhancing. Enhancing is the second level where you have the photograph, you now have it in the software, then you are processing to enhance it. You're not doing it to manipulate it. Get it? Photo editing in photography is different from photo editing in photojournalism. What did I say? Photo editing in photography is different from photo editing in photojournalism. All right. Now, after doing that enhancing must not distort the original meaning. It can only sort of amplify it or make it clear. You can't change day lights to night lights. You can't change coloring such that it shows that it's a sunny day. You will be misleading because you took it when there was no sun. So why introduce lights? That is misleading. You are enhancing to reflect the truth. Let's say it is an afternoon and there's sunlight. However, the room was dark. What will you do? Will you import light or will you tell it the way it is? Or will you adjust it and then give an explainer? Or will you provide a picture of as it was taken and how you have enhanced it? Or could it be that you are not even considering all of this, but you are considering something much more important, your own agenda, your framing. You want to tell the story the way you want to tell it. Could it be that that is the goal? Could that be? Now, then you then prepare the image for publication. Preparing it is exporting and saving it and ensuring that the color profile is preserved for your publication type. If, for instance, it's going to be printed on a colored page, it has to be in color. If it is going to be printed in black and white, you have to work on the monotone, duotone, and the color or the grayscale, depending on your own house style. What do you know differently at this point? Let the chat come. What do you know differently at this point? What did you know about photo editing before that is now changing? Put it in the chat. Now, it involves cropping, color correction, and contextual framing. This is what I've explained. You can't remove head, join somebody else's hand, use AI to remove hand, and put ring on a celebrity's finger. You understand? When they are not married, just to say they are, or something like that. You need to correct colors. And what most importantly, you must preserve the truth while you are editing. You must preserve the truth while editing. Because you need to preserve the truth as a journalist. It is your responsibility to report the truth. It is a journalism creed. As much as you're doing that, you must ensure that clarity is not compromised. Clarity must not be compromised. All right. Let's think about image as communication. Image as communication. Image as communication. Image communicate faster than text. They shape emotional response instantly. You see it, you react to it. Some of you would have noticed that when you got on the live stream, there was a colorful image that pops up. It affects your mood, whether you like it or not. They often define how things are understood. But in journalism, the photograph used determines how stories are interpreted. They determine how stories are interpreted. Let me give you an example of visual framing. Now, cropping an image can change the meaning of the image. Cropping an image can change the meaning of the image. Cropping an image can change the meaning of an image. How many of you have experienced this before? That cropping an image leads to the change of the image meaning. Can you put it in the chat? Let's see. There is a theory in mass communication that gives us a clear understanding about this. When you crop an image, you are framing some things out. Yes, you are removing the unwanted parts of that image. You are trying to make people see what you are trying to make people see what you want them to see, not what actually transpired. And I'm going to show you an interesting example. I'm going to put that together and send it to you. Okay, example, full picture to passports. That's one. Yes. Any other? Any other? Any other? You know, you are affecting how they understand things. And this is very powerful. This is very powerful. I'm going to share with you a particular image in a bit, but keep your responses coming while I get things ready for you. Keep your responses coming while I get things ready for you. Media framing is powerful. Media framing determines what the public know. In fact, with framing alone, the entire meaning perception can change. With framing alone, you can ruin a nation. With framing alone, you can destroy a country. With framing alone, you can turn the father against the children or the children against the father. With framing alone, the citizen can burn the country down. Framing is powerful. And framing is the second level of agenda setting theory. You'll get to know about this more when you start teaching you theory of mass communication. And I want you to understand that the media has power to make and to mar. And you as a communicator, you are now being empowered to make or to mar. But you will decide what you want to become. But I am training you to become a good, ethical journalist. You know these things today because we want you to become an excellent journalist. The one who preserve history, story, context, and culture. The one who is a good architect of history, a good architect of posterity, a truth sayer, not those who destroy what many have suffered and labored to create. So please pay attention to what you see next. But before I go to that next thing, I want you to know your angle. It changes even perception. You take a picture from bottom up, it shows the person at store. You take a picture, a photograph from right hand angle. It may not show the scar on the other angle. You show a picture of them when you crack a joke, you freeze them. What happens? People only see them smiling. Imagine publishing that when people are suffering. That would be insensitive. All right. Angles changes perception. Timing also changes interpretation. Timing, it changes interpretation. How do you think timing can change interpretation? Put it in the chat. Let's see. Let's see what you know. Let's see what you know. How can timing change interpretation? How can timing change interpretation? How can timing change interpretation? How can timing possibly change interpretation? Waiting. Fast, 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 fast. Let's do this fast and fast. All right. If I've got a camera and I found myself in a situation where I can freeze the moment and take advantage of the moment, and I choose to do it the way I like, what happens? Bias. Now, we're having a situation which I've asked you to respond to. How can framing or timing change interpretation? When I ask you guys now, right now, wherever you are, what is the time? Where do you look to? You look for the clock on the wall. You look for your phone where and check the time. Because I'm asking a question that requires you to look in a certain direction. Let's say I want to show the bad side of government. All I need to do is to record the bad side and publish it. It may not fully represent. Thank you, Adibo Ali Feintola. I said timing can change interpretation because a photo captures only a split second, and that moment may not represent the full reality of what is happening. Yes, turning a daylight picture to night is falsehood without explanation. Hmm? How can timing change interpretation? More comment, please. How can timing change interpretation? I'm waiting for your insights, waiting for your knowledge. Share with me. Share with me. Okay. Timing changes because one picture can capture the peak and the mistake, the misunderstanding, and the second becomes the whole story. Okay. All right. Have a look at this. I want you to look at it carefully and tell me what is happening in the photo. Tell me what is happening in the photo. Imagine if you were there when the journalist was capturing. You can see the whole picture. Now, imagine a situation where the only thing you had opportunity to see is the TV. What happens? How would you describe this photo? How would you describe it? What do you think about this photograph? Think about it very well. I want you to process it. Write something down in your notes explaining this. Reflect on this and think about how you've been consuming the media, the social media, every form of media. In fact, right here, right now, you don't even, you're not sure what I'm wearing beyond what you see. Because framing matters. Spend time, think through this photo. Remember, I said to you that photos can lie. Photos can lie. Photos can lie. Don't forget that photos can lie. You know, photos can lie. Don't forget that photos can lie. Now, I want you guys to describe what you can see. Describe what you can see. Hmm. Right, we're 30 minutes into the main lecture. We're almost halfway. This is the most important times in this conversation. Photos can lie. The person trying to save himself is being portrayed as a person harmful to the other person. And now we have fourth visual evidence of the face of the person who was actually chosen. Now the victim is appearing as the perpetrator. Good. Photos can lie. Good. Now take a look at this. This is what is happening. It is the media. It is the media. Now, framing is agenda is telling people what you want them to think, what you want them to read, to see. Framing is a second level, not just presenting it, but telling them how to think about what you have presented to them. So note, if there's one theory you need to know, the first two theories you need to know in mass communication, apart from the five traditional theory, is framing and agenda setting. Agenda setting and framing. So you can see when you edit a photo and you just crop it, you just crop it. Imagine I just crop it and then I crop this and then show it to you guys. You see how much of problem I could be causing. You see, as journalists, you have to be professional, be ethical. Okay, let's go. Now, how does cropping change meaning? How does cropping change meaning? Please put it in the chat. How does cropping change meaning? How does cropping change meaning? How does cropping change meaning? Okay. The change meaning because it removes part of the image or video information which can change what people see or focus on. Correct. That's good. The change is more. Select the story to tell. Yeah, exactly. So these are some of those things. These are some of those things. It's good. You are knowing this now. So please do not forget them when you start practicing. Do not forget them when you become leaders in the industry. Do not leave them behind because these are things that matter. All right. Now, moving on. Mm. I'd like to show you something again before I get on there. All right. This is how the media, this is how they control the people. This is how they control the people. The, the media is so powerful that it has the power, the potential to make you think in a certain way. It has the potential to make you think in a certain way, to make you do things certain way. And then depend on the kind of media you consume, you can be seriously affected. So be well aware about this. Be well aware about this. All right. Now let's move on. Ethical boundaries in photo editings. You should not distort the factual reality. You should not misinterpret events. You understand? No manipulation that changes the meaning of things. Avoid enhancements that would distort facts. Enhancement is only allowed for clarity. Please, I hope you are making notes. There are acceptable editings and unacceptable editings. Acceptable editings and unacceptable editing. Can someone put it in the chat? What are the acceptable editing? Put it in the chat. Put, put in the chat. What do you think are the acceptable editing and which ones are the unacceptable ones? Acceptable editings and unacceptable editings. The image shows how people can be controlled or influence. Okay, this is the old conversation. Acceptable and unacceptable editing. Just gonna put that and then so we can all see it together. What are the acceptable editing and unacceptable editing? Making image brighter and clearer. Is that acceptable? You have to mention it. Mention which one is acceptable. Mention which one is unacceptable. Mention the one that is acceptable. Mention the one that is unacceptable. Mention the one that is acceptable, the one that is not acceptable. add an audio is acceptable. Why what? Which one is not acceptable? Brightening acceptable. Okay, good. Now let's find out. Let's find out. Let's find out from everyone. Let's see how much we've got about that, and then let's see what we've got about that. Okay, I'm trying to just share along so it can be consumable on this thing. Yeah, on screen. Okay. Now, acceptable brightness adjustments. Someone got that correct. Cropping for focus, not for removal of context. Resolution improvements. The unacceptable ones are what adding or removing people, changing context of events, and altering meaning of events of actions. Please take note of this. Write this down. Write this down. Write this down. Write this down. All right. So for today's lesson, I want you to focus on how you can translate this into practical action. Let's move. Here's an example. Like I mentioned, a prostate image was used in multiple online platforms, and it was later found to be from a different year, not correct. And it has led to what? Public misinformation. It has led to misinterpretation of current events and loss of trust in media outlets. We've experienced this in the case of insurgency in the northern part of Nigeria, where some information were, projected and we thought it was true, whereas they were false. So the public was misled. Public was misled. So now we have to be sure that we don't let the wrong thing out at any point in time. We have to be sure that we only dish out the right information at every point in time. Visual misinterpretation that comes with risk, and old image being used as new, cropped images changing the context, social media reposting without verification. And we also have the issues of software editing. Mobile editing app means that you can take a picture on the spot and manipulate it on the spot before you even send it, even when they think it's coming real time or live at election polling area. Can you imagine that changing somebody else and say a particular important fellow is here, and whereas they are not there, you have fully manipulated it after taking the real live location, even when you are sending the geo tag. Desktop softwares are also important. Photoshop is a major one. Yeah. In the past, I taught this lesson with very practical live in class teaching about how to use Photoshop. But this one, I'm here to. I'm not so sure about what my decision will be. But it will be good if you pick up that skill early. Newsroom systems also help you understand how visual editing is done, your art style, and the related matter. Now, AI assisted image tools are also there to help sometimes, but it has to be done ethically, it has to be done appropriately within the boundaries of ethics. And then these are some of the benefit and risk of using AI in in journalism. It's it's help you enhance photos fast. That we know. It's help you reduce noise because it has a way of putting together the pixels and predicting what pixels. And then it helps with background corrections. Now, some of the risk is that it has led to deepfake, loss of authenticity. It has led to serious issues that has impacted many. Now, I want you guys to pay absolute attention to ethical misuse, loss of authenticity. Think about also the fact that you can harm many because of your singular action. So we need to learn to be professional in all that we do. Now, I want you to debate this. What are the benefits versus risk? Do you think it has done more good? Let's engage in the chat. AI benefit and risk. AI benefit and risk. AI benefit and risk. AI benefit and risk. I see that quite a number of people are not here live, but 73 concurrent viewers. That's interesting. But whenever you come, ensure that you do all of the tasks to maximize your learning experience. Hmm. All right. So we'll move on to the next thing, class activities. I will present to you two images and I want you to look at the possible manipulation, the context changes, the ethical concerns that are in there. Think about the ethical concerns. And here is the image. Which one of this is AI? The one on the left or the one on the right? The one on the left or the one on the right? The one on the left or the one on the right? The one on the left or the one on the right? AI says the one on the right. So why is it the one on the right? Why the one on the right? Can you give us right reason? The one on the right. Why? Why is it the one on the right? Can you tell me why? Why do you think it is the one on the right? How do you know it is the one on the right? So someone said it's the one on the left. How do you know it is the one on the left? How do you know it is algorithm and not human? Editing looks too perfect for the one on the right. Okay. All right. The answer is the one on the right. Okay. So today we'll be able to learn through the fact that images shape meaning instantly. Editing must preserve truth. Visual framing influences our perception. And the fourth one is that ethics are central to photojournalism. I hope you've learned something special today. Go know this, apply this, think with this. When you're consuming, remember all you have learned. When you're watching TV, reading the news, think about how this could have been framed and many other ways it could have been before it was portrayed the way it is. Now, I'm giving you an assignment. I want you to just you know, I'm gonna provide a random article, and then I just want you to try and to lay it out anyhow on Canva and on Photoshop, on InDesign, any way you any which of the apps that you find easy to use, or CorelDRAW. So you also show visual hierarchy, attempt it, do a research about it. You can structure it in a way of newspaper, you can structure it in the way of magazine. Once you have done this, I'm going to provide a Google Drive link. Otherwise, if you finish before that link arrives, send it to my email, and then you will all be guided on how to go about things. Please ask questions at this point. Please ask questions at this point. Ask questions. It's time to ask questions. All right, let me have a look at some of the questions I've got now. No questions, no questions. What is agenda setting? Agenda setting is the process of listing a few things and making people deciding what becomes news, what you publish. You're setting the agenda. Like when you are going for a meeting, you have an agenda, you have things you want to discuss. So that is it. So the question is, how can I enhance image effectively without compromising the truth and ethical standards? Yeah. What you need to do is to ensure that while you are adjusting light, anything, you are not you are asking the question, does this change the meaning, the original meaning? So in the light of that, I may not be able to take much question because of time today. So I'm just gonna take it to the checkout page. Yeah, if you have questions anytime, do well to always ask, and I'll keep the question pool open. But for the checkout link, I let's see how it goes. If you are live here, do that immediately. I'm looking at those who are currently live, and once I hit the figure, I'm gonna cut it. So in our next class, we'll be looking at photo editing techniques, and that's likely to be taken by my colleague live and in class, and live on Telegram. Sorry, then I might still do a recorded or premiere version of that particular lesson from my own perspective, taking some of my learnings from that class. So I'll be attending the class like I'll be learning there. Then I'll be introducing to layout design. So looking forward to that. Now let's check out. Let's check out. So, guys, on this note, I would say you should have a very great rest of your week.